Hi, I'm going to show you how to install a air humidifier pressure switch. This pressure switch I bought purposely for the purpose of installing for the humidifier because the heat sensor on the humidifier wouldn't turn on because there wasn't enough heat being produced by the furnace. Sometimes with the energy efficient furnaces that might happen. So I was recommended to buy this pressure switch, which has basically a low pressure and high pressure valve. And basically what you do is you just install it on a tube onto the high pressure valve and then put a hole in the out air duct on the furnace, and that should push a diaphragm in here and it'll close the circuits here, and that's how the switch is going to turn on the solenoid on the humidifier. I'm holding in my hands the Air King 5000 humidifier, and what you can see here is there's an input, electrical input, where the 24-volt wires will attach to, and then there's an output here. Now there's also a thermal sensor here with a green LED light. So what happens is, in a normal operation, when there's enough heat produced by the furnace, it will trigger the thermal sensor, which in turn will trigger the switch here to close, and hence it will close the circuit and then allow the solenoid to let water flow through the humidifier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bypass this connection by using a pressure switch connection here. So with my pressure switch, once it samples hot air going through the furnace, it will allow this switch to close, because the problem is that right now there's not enough hot air being produced by the furnace to get this thermal sensor to close the switch here. You're in the basement with me now, and as you can see here, this is my furnace and this is the hot air duct above the furnace. What I'm going to do is I'm going to install this air pressure switch onto the hot air duct. I'm going to put 2 screws to mount it in place. I'm going to drill a hole for the air sampling tube. The air sampling tube is going to go into the high pressure port on the air pressure switch. Okay, I'm going to use a marker here to mark the holes where I'm going to drill. So I'm just going to estimate where this pressure switch is going to be. I think it looks good around here. Okay, now I'm going to use this drill to drill a hole through the furnace hot air duct to mount the air pressure switch. Okay, as you can see now, I've mounted the air pressure switch onto the hot air duct on my furnace. Now, I need to drill a hole for the air sampling tube. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a hole about here for the air sampling tube to go into the positive air pressure port. Okay, as you can see here, now I've drilled my air sampling tube hole, and all I have to do is push the air sampling tube into the hole, like so. Okay, for this part of the installation, I'm going to use thermostat wire, And I've stripped these thermostat wires to about 1 cm, as you can see here. They're going to be installed on the pressure switch bypass. And as you can see here, I have the pressure switch bypass up here. This model is a little bit different from the one that you saw earlier that I was holding, because that model had spade connectors, whereas this one just has pinholes where I have to use this thermostat wire to push into the pinholes, and then this lever will just clip into place. If I want to take the wires out, I just use a screwdriver to press on the orange lever and I can pull the wires out. Okay, as you can see here, I have my spade connectors connected on top of the pressure switch. So I have one of the wires on the common and one of the wires on normally open. So that means that when there's no air pressure, this circuit is open. When there is pressure, this will be closed. So the air pressure will come from the sampling tube down here, which is inserted into the hot air duct of the furnace. Okay, so you can see my air pressure switch connected here. And down here, you can see that there's 2 leads connected to the solenoid over here. So once the air pressure switch turns on, it'll close the circuit and allow the solenoid to open, hence allowing water to flow through this valve. Okay, as you can hear, my furnace is running now, and the green LED light is lit on the humidifier, which means that the circuit is closed, and hence it's opened the solenoid to allow water to flow through. So if you want to check if your installation is correct or not, just check your green LED light and make sure water is flowing through the water valve. Thank you very much for watching.